Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks. Going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, coming to you live. And and Jimmy the Legend Hicks coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over the world, and we got a loaded day. It's Super Bowl weekend. Got a lot of stuff going on in news. Vanessa Bryant made a statement. Jimmy, I got some more Kobe stuff for you. We just got so much. And I know you have some stuff, high school stuff. So let me tell y'all something. Button up your seatbelts or strap in, because it's gonna be crazy today. Jimmy, it's gonna be epic today. What you said, Jimmy, I think you better share. I think you need to go to YouTube and subscribe to that site, because I'm going to tell y'all, we're going to go on this site one day. Y'all going to come on Facebook one day, and guess what? We're going to be on YouTube that day. So keep abreast on what's going on. But Jimmy, what you got going on?
I mean, we can get right into it. Of course, it's Super Bowl weekend, Baby Friday. Happy Baby Friday to you guys out there in the Chop Shop land. Make sure, let's end the week with a bang. It's been started off on a really somber, heavy-hearted note, but we're going to go and try to cover all bases. And first, I get the easiest one out of the way, and that is the Houston Astros has went ahead and signed Dusty Baker as their manager for the 2020 season. However, it's only a one-year deal, which is very, very rare in today's culture of Major League Baseball. A one-year deal with the team option for a second year. And, Dusty Baker, one thing, like I say, he was one of my favorite guys coming along, when I was a little kid, the Dodgers and back in the days and on the front end of the Fernando Valenzuela and all those guys, and they beat the Yankees in the World Series in '6. And one thing I mentioned the other day, just something that keeps the urban culture connected to a guy like Dusty Baker. He's 70 years old, guys. He's the oldest manager in baseball right now. And I went and I looked up, and one of the things I found that was intriguing, guess how he got his name, Dusty, nickname Dusty. Dusty Baker.
He used to slide and always kick up dust.
That's close. Back when he was a little kid coming up in California, he used to play out in the dirt all the time. And so mama didn't want to call him dirty.
Your little dusty.
Get your little dusty ass on back in his house. And so Dusty Baker, that's how it came. It stuck with him. So his neighbors and his homeboys, because they call him Dusty. So that's how the Dusty Baker, the nickname came about. But his real name is Johnny B. Baker. So
see, I never knew his name was Johnny B.
Johnny B. And so I don't know what the.
I don't blame him. Hey, I'll take Dusty too.
Yeah, we will too. But he has any manager with a toothpick in his mouth, you got my favorite. And then it wasn't just one time. That toothpick is, you know what? I'm going to meet Dusty Baker. I've never met him before. I'm going to meet him in a couple of months when they come out of spring training. And I'm going to give him a little tip on how he can roll with that toothpick down in Texas. If he break it in half, then put it in his mouth. That way now nobody running to you. You don't have to worry about it, getting in an accident. You control the toothpick more.
What if you swallow?
Yeah, and that too. So I'm gonna tell him that. But anyway, the Astros, the AJ Hinch era is out. It lasted 4 years, and AJ Hinch, as far as the winning and the Astros coaches, he had the best winning percentage of any coach in Houston Astros history. AJ Hinch did in the 4 year. He was 594 was his winning percentage. Yeah. On top of that, before then, Larry Dierker was the guy that won them. Yeah, you remember Larry Dierker back at the turn of the century. He was a former player for the Astros, former pitcher that made him the manager, and he won the most games. He had a 556 percentage. And Bill Verton. Bill Verton is the name I was trying to get back from back in those days, and Dusty Baker and the Dodgers beat up on Mike Scott and J.R. Richard and the Astros. Bill Verton's had won 544 games. That's the most ever by an Astros manager. However, I was looking up through the records of the different managers. Do you realize that Bill Verton was a manager for 7 years? Mm-hmm. There's no other manager that's been a manager for the Astros more than 4 years. In the history, since the days of the Colt 45s, there's no manager that's been over the Astros for more than 4 seasons. AJ Hinch had tied that. Larry Dierker was 4 seasons. So now, does Dusty Baker, a 1 year deal basically is saying, you're playing for money, basically, with a 1 year deal. However, in the situation which is presented before him with this lineup, with this type of potency, Dusty Baker can't help but improve his winning percentage, because this Astro team had won 100 plus games each of the last 2 seasons. And so that means they're good for you should at least expect them to bring you, 85, right? So that's how we go. So shout out to Dusty Baker, man. Another black manager comes into Major League Baseball. So we won't fret at that at all. So let's move on to the next topic. Of course, what you got on the docket? Now, what you got?
No, I mean, go. Because I got some stuff. I'm going to let you get sports out the way, because I got some entertainment that we got to talk about. We got so consumed with the Kobe thing. We got some entertainment that we need to talk about. We'll get to it, but go.
Well, last night, of course, in NBA action was brought in, and San Antonio beat Utah, so that Utah loses their second game. They were the hottest team. Well, one of the hottest teams in the league.
They lost 2 in a row, Jimmy.
Lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And lost to San Antonio. DeMar DeRozan came out, scored a season high 38 last night to lead the Spurs in that win. Also, Brooklyn beats Detroit. That was Kyrie Irving opposite Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose continued to play well, but wasn't well enough. And as Brooklyn Nets gets the win. I mean, Derrick Rose played well. He outscored Kyrie. He out-rebounded Kyrie. He shot. He had more field goals made than Kyrie, more efficient. But their numbers were pretty similar. But Kyrie got the W. And it wasn't a comparison saying Kyrie versus Rose, but it was a thing for Rose to help enhance his case to make the All-Star team as a selection. Which
Your case.
Do. So that's, I mean, and trust me, it's wide open because the coaches have to pick. And
you
remember,
know what happened? The voting is the day, Jimmy. So we'll find out tonight on I think on TNT tonight.
For the reserves?
Yes.
Oh man, that's gonna be interesting. It's amazing, boy. TNT genius how they found a way to cultivate a lot of the releases of everything from the lottery of the picking, how they found a way to get that stuff in part of that broadcast.
Jimmy, as much as they pay the NBA, Jimmy,
Yeah.
it's some interesting news in the NBA too.
What you got?
About the salary cap is gonna go down.
It's gonna go down
This year.
Explain what makes the salary cap go down.
No. You go. Oh, so you want me to run down that rabbit hole?
I mean, it's simple to explain, simple math.
Well,
to people.
What happened? They just said the NBA is set to release its revised 2020 and 2021 salary and luxury tax projections. I'm sorry. The NBA has, alerted teams, about the salary cap, and this is it's going to be just a $3 million reduction. It was $116 million this year, Jimmy. It can drop as far as $113 million. And in the article, they talked about the China situation. I'm gonna give. They said China's decision to pull out of sponsorship and television coverage because of Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey tweeted support of the anti-government protesters in Hong Kong in October is believed to have a cost between 100 to 150 to 200 million, the league sources said. And when you take that out of the pot, then just $3 million or less. They got to get, hold up, Jimmy. This poor league got to get by on $3 million less per year, Jimmy. I don't think they will be in a poorhouse soon at all. But that was a very expensive tweet to all you Daryl Morey. He can do what he want to. That's his Twitter. That's his personal opinion. Sometime it costs you, boss. So that's what's going on. What else you got? You want to comment on that?
It's pretty much everybody knew that it would take a dip, after the China situation. Remember they pulled, and that's the thing that a lot of people knew that. And now the general public becomes aware of the news as of the exact numbers, but they knew it was going to be a dip. It was no way it was going to be higher after people being restricted of earning certain revenues by way of their means of their Chinese endorsements and business ventures related to the NBA. So I'm just glad. One thing about it is still, 116, 113. That's a 3 million spread. It's 109 right now. So it's still going to be an increase of about $4 million.
No, Jimmy. It was 116 last year.
It was 116 last year?
Yeah, watch some of them articles you read in the paper. I got the collective bargaining agreement sitting on my desk. Yeah, sometimes they don't have all the figures, Jim. It was supposed to be between 116 and 113, and it's gonna drop to 113. That's what I meant. It's supposed to be between 116 and 113, but instead it's gonna drop to 113. That's what I meant.
Well, okay, I'm reading the Adrian Wojnarowski.
Okay.
And says that the 2019-2020
was 109.
Was cap,
okay.
Right? It was 109.
Uh-huh.
Right? So that's this year.
Okay. My bad. I'm talking you're talking about the next year. Okay, I
Yeah.
got
So
you.
this
Okay.
season to next season is going to increase
So, so,
$4 million.
but it was supposed to increase to
Yes,
116.
that was the expectations
Yes, yes.
initially before.
Before the incidents. That's what
Yeah.
I was trying. That's what I
So
was trying to say.
so it's going to still be, like I said, still be an uptick. And so that's one of those things. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's still progress.
yeah. Speaking of and other NBA news, Victor Oladipo returned for the Indiana Pacers. He only scored 9 points, but nothing was more dramatic than his three-pointer with about 10 seconds left, which helped propel the Pacers to the win over the Chicago Bulls. This is in overtime, 115-106. And Oladipo, after the game, he spoke with he had a teary post game interview, which he was thinking about. He recited Mamba mentality. Mamba mentality. He said it repeated amount of times, and you can see once again, the
The impact.
reach of Kobe Bryant and his legacy, and how it wakes you up to realize the average age of a lot of these young men that's in the NBA now. It is no longer out with the old, in with the new. The new has consumed about 90% of this league. I mean, in there right now. It's the new. I'm talking about American.
Well, Jimmy, that's in most sports, Jimmy. You got to understand, all teams want to get younger. Oh God, it's not an old man sport. So, but I think you're trying to emphasize is that a lot of these young guys grew up in the Kobe era. I stated on Monday, from 20 years old to the 20s to the early 30s. Those are the guys that make up the NBA. Ain't but one 40-year-old in the NBA, I think, and that's Vince Carter. So what's his name? LeBron James and them knocking on the door. What's his name? It was so odd. Dwayne Wade retired last year, so it's a young league, and these young guys, they grew up on Kobe Bryant being their idol, and he touched some of them a lot more than he touched others. So it's it's a great thing, man. I love hearing the tributes. We're gonna keep hearing the tributes. Roger Goodell had his press conference. They have the press conference on Wednesday in the NFL at the Super Bowl, and he talked about they're gonna do a tribute to Kobe. So Kobe Bryant is far-reaching. I don't know if you know, Jimmy, at the Mamba Training Center out there, pro football players come and train out there also. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Matter of fact, Brandon Jack Brandon, I can't get, who always they've had the mental illness that's on inside the NBA, inside the NFL. He was working out with a kid out there that day in that area. So when it happened, so he got a far-reaching. Jimmy Neymar, the soccer player, the famous soccer player, he holding up 24 after he scored a goal all over on the other side of the world. So he had far-reaching impact, man. I just didn't realize. I didn't even realize. You remember I told you I didn't realize the impact he had on me in my life. But we'll get to Kobe a little bit later. So what else you got in the NFL?
Well, of course, the NBA. Hey, how about the fact that a Little Ugly scored 24 points as Oklahoma City beat Sacramento last night, 120-100, 20-point blowout. Little Ugly is Dennis Schroeder of the OKC Thunder, and this team.
You know what I'm finding out about this team? Jimmy, it's hard to guard 3 guards off the dribble. That's good off the dribble. It's almost impossible to guard 3 guys off the dribble. That
can make mid-range jumpers and don't have no problem that seek the mid-range jumper as well. All 3 of them seek it. If they get you on that hip, they seeking it because and I think Chris Paul one of the things that I've read that he's taught Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that going in there and getting all that contact, you're gonna pay for it later on in life. So you get your mid-range jumper, and it'll take you from having to go up there and get knocked on your ass every other trip down the court. And you while you're young, you take them lumps now, but you'll feel that stuff later on in your career. And you know the French, Lil Ugly, he knows that he's gonna use his speed, and all those guys are quick except Chris Paul. Chris Paul is, he just uses
Chris Paul can beat you off the dribble. I didn't say quick.
He gonna get you with that
I said beat you off the dribble. You don't have to be quick. You just got to have change of speed to beat you off the dribble.
Oh, yeah, that's what I just said. Huh?
Yeah, but you said quick. You said quick.
I say two of those guys.
I know, but you said Chris Paul ain't quick. You don't have to be quick.
No, you don't have to be. What I'm saying, but he's quick thinker. That's the whole thing, and that's what makes him a first ballot Hall of Famer once he's 5 years after he's done with the NBA. And
I saw something last night too with the Knicks. I think the Knicks fans has had enough, Jimmy. They were loud saying sell the team. It was a chant in MSG last night when they lost to the Grizzlies, Jimmy. To sum it up, the Knicks lost by 21 points. Their starting point guard tackles an opposing shooter. Fans loudly chant sell the team. And post-game, their best player uses woman-like as an insult. It took, what's the boy name? One of the marquee bars said, a Crowder act like a woman. Dude, think about this. This how the Knicks were so lousy last night. Marcus Morris got slammed on social media for misogyny. Talking about the man act like a woman. Elfrid Payton just knocked him out the air. I don't know if I put it on the thing. Jimmy, they didn't have warm, hot water in the showers, in the visiting locker room, at the Madison Square Garden. And Jimmy, it was just a run-of-a-mill blowout home loss. It just... And Ja Morant was complaining on Twitter. He said there's no more hot water. He says only 3 drops coming out of the shower. This is beyond me, he said. That is unbelievable, Jimmy. And Jimmy, I don't know if this man gonna sell his team, but I know he got a line outside like at Baskin Robbins line up to buy it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. And the team is worth $4 billion, by the way. Yeah, $4 billion.
And in that particular game, I'll give a shout out to Damian Dotson. 15 points off the bench. However, the Knicks still lose by a dub, actually 21 to be exact. And Lori Dotson's on the feed. She says, so he should have tackled the ninja. He act like a female. That would Doris it.
Okay.
And so,
all right.
say it with your chest. Dude.
Okay. All right. We're going to see that fine coming in his ass that you going to pay.
You say that water, some of that water, say, let the ninjas freeze. Freeze that ninja.
No, man. It's cold in New York, man. Man, we got to get that thing together.
That's the subway. Take a bath over on the other side of town. That's what you do.
Hey, Jimmy, they got to get this stanky butt on the bus. Come on, Jimmy. Hold up. You want a bunch of stanky dudes on the bus with you driving back? Okay. Well, Jimmy, and they probably headed to the airport. So where they gonna take a shower at?
Who you talking about? New Jersey?
Yeah, no, Memphis. Where were they going? They probably got on the plane.
Yeah.
If they're not playing New Jersey the next night.
They stayed last night.
Why?
Because they don't play today. They don't play the Friday.
Where they play at?
New Orleans. They stayed.
They got out of there, Jim.
No, they stayed tonight.
They got out of there.
They stayed tonight.
Bet that. Bet your right pocket.
Okay, so think about this. Wednesday night in New York City, or going on to New Orleans, right? And you gonna get there at 1 o'clock in the morning. You staying there that night. You won the game. You staying in New York.
Okay.
And then also, let me give you another thought.
What's the use of having a private plane if you can't fly when you want?
I just thought about that. Memphis is in the Western Conference. That's their only trip to New York this year. They stayed tonight. They only played New York twice. They stayed tonight. Young fella down there.
So you say they went and popped bottles on the Knicks last night?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They stayed in New York last night. Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of course, shout out to Herb Baker over in Miami right now. He says H-Town is invading the Super Bowl weekend down in South Beach.
I know some people called me this morning.
Boy.
I'll see y'all this week. I'll see y'all soon.
Boy,
I'll see y'all soon.
That weather is good at the Super Bowl right now.
Jimmy, my golf club's right by the door, by the garage, in the garage right now, right by the door. Welcome to Miami.
Boy, it's going down. It's going down there for Super Bowl. And of course, Super Bowl weekend, Chiefs and 49ers. Everybody right now it looks like it's just one big festival, as a Super Bowl should be. And the weather could not have been better for this weekend. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was reading something on the bets. You realize somebody went and laid a $550,000 bet at one of the sports books in Vegas, and know what they did? They went and raised the line after that money. After that money came through, they said because when something like that comes,
who they put it on?
They put it on the Chiefs.
Oh,
it was a 1-point favorite.
How much he gonna win when betting that?
Betting that 500, I don't have it in front of me.
I thought you said 150,000.
No. They bet $500,000.
How much he gonna win?
I don't have it in front of me.
Hey, guess what, Jimmy? I found out. They got a special end zone seat. If you go on one of those sites, you can get that seat for $385,000. It's get the VIP, you get the free drinks, you get to meet all the celebrities, you get to walk on the field, you got your three. That's 2 Lamborghinis if you want to, in a house in a nice neighborhood for 1 ticket to one, Jimmy, not 2 tickets, 1 ticket down at the Super Bowl, homeboy. Hey, man, let me tell you something. I can't talk about it. It's going down. Hey, definitely but Jimmy, hold up. I got something for y'all. First time in the NFL's, I love those first times, in the NFL's 100-year history, that the host mayor, and the team mayors all are African American. Jimmy, history has been made with Super Bowl 54 this year. Jimmy, the mayor of the host city is black. That's Mayor Oliver Gilbert. He represents Miami Gardens. Mayor Quentin Lucas represents Kansas City. And Mayor London Breed represents San Francisco. Unbelievable. There are 19,429 municipal governments in the United States. And of the top 100 cities in the United States, only 39 elected mayors are black, according to the black demographics. Dude, unbelievable how that happened. So guess what? Just more than Houston invade Miami right now, Jimmy. Miami got a certain flavor that's going to be real, real nice this year. And let me tell you something. The people, if you're watching the show, don't try to get on that one bridge that y'all see all the time to come to South Beach. It's several other bridges you can go, but you got to go farther north to get to Miami Beach, so you want to be in traffic. I don't want you being in gridlock trying to go with, I forgot the name of it, I don't know the exact name of the bridge. Herb can give it to me. The main bridge that's got the cruise ships to your right and Paradise Island to your left. It's more than one way to get to South Beach. And, watch the Chop Shop so you can get it. Jim, that's my public service announcement today.
Yeah, and of course, shout out to Chris Charles. Indeed,
what up, Charles?
Mattress Mac bet $1 million on the 49ers to win Super Bowl 54.
His ass gonna lose.
Well,
furniture gonna be high.
Well, one thing about it, if you think about it, as I said before, a commercial for the Super Bowl is about $4 or $5 million for 30 seconds. Mattress Mac is going to get his name and our gallery furniture mentioned. It's going to supersede the $1 million that he's put out there, which he could possibly get most of it back if the team.
Jimmy, he ain't gonna have no commercial on Super Bowl day.
No. I'm talking about other avenues. Hatter.
I'm just telling you. You mentioned the Super Bowl.
No. Understand.
You talked about how much the commercials cost on the Super Bowl.
So it's cheap. He bet people in Miami ain't buying no furniture at our gallery furniture. So what he's doing, he's weighing heavy because every media outlet, not only in Houston but in surrounding areas and news radio stations.
Okay. So he getting in Houston. All right, I understand. Okay. But
getting it for free.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a smart. So really, it looks kind of spooky, but he's gonna get, and especially if he wins, that's where the real win come in because he's gonna be mentioned nationwide then, because that would be one of the heaviest bet lays on money on the 49 or on the whole Super Bowl period by one individual. So that's going to be, guess what? It's working for him.
I don't call Jimmy Garoppolo porn star Jimmy no more. Guess what it's called now?
What's that?
Jimmy G-string. you just hate you. And by the way, Roger Goodell did make a statement, Jimmy. He made a statement about Antonio Brown. He said, he talked about that, what did he say about him? He was just talking about they're gonna try to help him. They said the first thing for all of us is to think about the well-being of Antonio and to understand what Antonio is going through. We want to help him get back on track. From that standpoint, that's our number one step. And then Jimmy, in his press conference, I mean, this happened every year. David Stern, Adam Silver gonna do the All-Star game. He gonna do the same thing. And he also said there are changes coming to the Rooney Rule, Jimmy. He said he doesn't expect anything to change on diversity hiring front with head coaches and GMs without the changes to that process. He did say that this is, they're gonna make a conscious effort. About really changing the process on how that thing goes, so it can everybody, a blind man knows it's wrong. So he said a public statement that they're gonna make progress in that area.
Well, that's one thing about it. Time will tell, and you can't do much worse. Only 3 African American head coaches in the National Football League as it stands. Only 3, 4 minorities. And so you can't possibly do much worse. They're not going to, find time to say that. Smart timing.
But this was his press conference, Jimmy. This like his State of the Union. It ain't time in the Super Bowl here. It's his State of the Union.
Smart timing to basically double down and say, "Hey, we're gonna make a conscious effort."
But he never said that. He never said that, Jimmy.
What he said, we're gonna improve on it.
Yeah, no, but he just said it.
Duh, you're not getting no worse than 3 blacks. You're not gonna get no worse than that right now. So
But Jimmy, it was okay. I'm not, go. You got your opinion on it. Good, awesome.
And also, so of course, I see a few more guys that just logged in. I see Doug Jones is logged in. I see Rod Wells just came up in here, and I guess the topic is brewing. And
Jimmy, hold up, before you go there, I learned some stuff today about. It was interesting. how important. I remember you mentioned Lloyd Wells,
Yeah.
and how how important he was in that thing. You know how I am. I'm gonna go read up on it. Y'all, this guy Lamar Hunt. And the reason I'm bringing it up because of the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The Kansas City when they first had the AFL draft, Jimmy, they had two separate drafts. They had the AFL draft and the NFL draft. Okay, so each of them draft the players. The AFL, Lamar Hunt said, I'm gonna outpay them. That's how I'm gonna get them. So guess what? They, the Dallas Cowboys, brought their draft, all the draft picks, because the same guys got drafted by the two leagues. The NFL brought the guys to Dallas. The running back you were talking about, the top running back you was talking about.
McVay.
All of them to Dallas and had them locked up and they couldn't leave. So Lloyd Wells got them out the hotel room and snuck them out. They said the sheets and coming out the hotel room, snuck out they drove to Kansas City, and Lamar Hunt signed the dude to the highest contract ever in sports. I think they said about $400,000 that year. So Lamar Hunt, he wasn't playing. And guess what? They named Lloyd Wells their chief scout then. And Lloyd Wells, I didn't know.
The first black.
Yeah. And I was wondering why didn't the Houston Texans do it? The Houston Oilers do it. Guess why, Jimmy? Because Lloyd Wells was a reporter also. So he led a revolt and a protest against the Houston Oilers in the NFL because they wouldn't let the black writers come in the press booth. He had a protest against that. So the Oilers they blackballed him. They didn't. Dude, it's a lot of history. When you mention that name, I remember meeting him, but when you mention the name, I had to go and study it. That was awesome, man. Lloyd Wells was an integral part. And guess what, y'all? If you go back, you know how you used to go back and look at the Jet and the Ebonies? I remember as a little boy, when I used to look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they had a lot of black players on it. I was little. I wasn't paying no attention. But guess what? Lamar Hunt actively went to the HBCUs to get those players. He actively went. That's why.
He was tied in. Once again, everybody in Fifth Ward coming up knew Lloyd Wells, but I didn't know him, and got to meet him during the last decade or so of his life. And, I met him in the early 90s first, but I went to his house, in the turn of the millennium. And we sat down and we talked, invited him over to his house. When I first got into this stuff, and I was first started with on Channel 55 at the time with Card Freed, and he had saw me, we got acquaintances and relatives. And Lloyd Wells was the guy that used to call everybody. They called him. He used to wear a skipper hat.
Yes.
And
he used to wear a Super Bowl ring too, Jimmy, all the time.
They gave him one. Mm-hmm. And he would call everybody when he talked. He would call everybody Judge. What's up, Judge?
Yeah.
Say Judge. I say Doc. He would say Judge.
So people was calling him Judge Wells too.
Yes, because they called him Judge Wells. He had the good wavy, good hair. He was what they called a Frenchman back in the day. So he was like a Frenchman.
Oh yeah, cool
Lloyd
guy,
Wells
man.
Was and he had the ultimate plug in the 60s. Who was the ultimate plug? The ultimate plug in the 60s. Lloyd Wells was the man he was for Muhammad Ali. Well, Cassius Clay who became Muhammad Ali. Lloyd Wells provided. You came down to Houston, you have to realize in those days, Houston was hot because coming out the end of the hills of Galveston used to be one of the gambling hubs. And you know, remember Jack Johnson lived that back in the old days. But Lloyd Wells, if you wanted anything, he wasn't just connected with football or boxing. It was pretty much outside of this area. If it was sports, Lloyd Wells had to put, he had his fingerprints on it. You know why? Because he had control of the media. He controlled the ink because he had the photography, took the pictures. So think about little young ladies that back then they wore a lot of the one pieces and whatnot. He'd go and take the pictures, and they got lucky. They would get in the centerfold of Jet.
The beauty of the week.
In that centerfold,
Boy.
Lloyd Wells had the power and the plug. And you know the thing about it, like different from today's. Of course, there were a couple other guys in the area that had photography. I mentioned the Flags, out of Northside, out of Cashmere and Forest Brook back in the day. Also over at Jack Gates on that end. What's my lady's name who does the commercials with Alan Helfman? Ran for city council. You guys can help me in the boom boom room. The light skinned lady she's an OG, been around for years. Her husband made his mark taking photos back in the old days. I can't think of her name right now. I just saw it at the TSU game a couple of weeks ago. Great man, Georgia Provost. That's her name. Georgia Provost.
Okay.
Her husband, Herbert Provost, he was the Lloyd Wells of the 3rd Ward area over in there. Herbert Provost. He made a bunch of bread because remember now, back in those days, Dowling, who's now known as Emancipation, that was that main street for 3rd Ward, and over on 5th Ward, Lyons Avenue was the main street for 5th Ward. So those were the arteries of those two communities. But man, Lloyd Wells, man, great. You guys hadn't had a chance to read up on him. That's some Black history that you guys can relay to some of your family members, especially young kids, understanding what, you know, where they come from and some of the people that laid some of the foundations and opened some of the paths for many of us, you know, in today. Man, way to go, Lloyd Wells, man.
People texting me now talking about Georgia Provost, because I don't know who in the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, Georgia Provost, she's like a lot of times you may have saw some of the commercials from Alan Helfman, and he'll stand her right on the side of him while he's doing one of his commercials. Alan Helfman helped funded Georgia Provost's campaign, and Alan Helfman is connected. He was one of the deep in philanthropy in this city, and he's plugged in and done a lot, and has helped me out a lot along my journey in this broadcast journalism as well as print journalism. Alan Helfman been a good friend of the family, and one thing about it though, like a lot of the Jewish folk out there, they ain't gonna really give you a lot of money when you want it, but they will put you, if they like you or if they favor you, they will put you in the room. They will put you in the room. Now it's up to your butt if you're gonna go work the room or not. They will put you in the room, and that's good. And then sometimes that's case, guess what? That's all you can ask sometimes. You know, for the non-lazy person, is just for the opportunity to be able to rub and elbows and being in the room. But I see Walter Yates say Wells put together the Texas-Louisiana College All-Star game at TSU. My dad coached the Texas team with Dale Harris, former Lakers coach, and Avery Johnson and Karl Malone played on the Louisiana team.
Okay.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, Helfman's father was actually really that dude. You know, well, I never met Alan Helfman's dad, but I met Alan Helfman and of course his sons. You know, and both one of them work at each one of the dealerships now. But Eric and I think the other one name went to Georgia. And so, but anyway, man, that's taking me down for a blast to the past. I see you, Trey Phillips. You're right. Georgia was big. I mean, Galveston was big for gambling. It is. Mr. Katie, I see you out there. What's going on, Mr. Katie? The Katy Tigers picked up a basketball win over May Creek. Now, Mr. Katie then came out of hiding. But we ain't forgot about you. And also the Houston Rockets guys last night went on the road. Russell Westbrook scored 39 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. But it wasn't enough. The Rockets fall to the Trailblazers 125 to 112. What's your thoughts on guys, or have you just found other things to keep occupy your thoughts when it comes to NBA basketball? And because I'm thinking now it feels, I even noticed a lot of the news reports, there's no like venom, because if this was New York City, they would have been ran D'Antoni out of here by now, because the venom would have been coming. Now, is everybody just okay?
They got a winning record though, Jim.
Yeah.
They got a winning record. Why you gonna run out? You don't run. You run losers. Your homeboy, they ain't won, but they won 2 games. They won more games under the next dude than Fizdale. So that's a big difference. These guys are still in 6th place, as bad as you say they are. And it's bad. I told you it was the dog days of January. Yes, they play. Jimmy, I ain't going to tell you no lie. I didn't even watch. Y'all know how DVR, it's just something is wrong that I don't like, and I think it's going to get corrected before, and I'm not sure. I can't put my hand on it just by me talking to some of the people involved in the organization. Something's just not right there. So, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they terrible. They heavy trash right now.
And of all the people, Trevor Ariza, who has 1 foot in his basketball coffin.
What my nephew have?
Had 21 points last night.
Yeah. Now that's bad.
21 points from Trevor Ariza.
Jimmy, my nephew didn't have but 18, man. I told you something going on, man. He ain't take but 18 shots.
That's not good.
I'm telling you.
That's not good.
He just ain't saying it. There's something going on, but that's all right.
Points for James Harden.
Guess what? I just hope he be ready for the postseason. That's all. I'm gonna be optimistic. He'll be ready for the postseason, y'all. Then y'all gonna say, "Oh, there he is."
And the thing about it, Eric Gordon is not without blame. Let me tell you why. If I go and score 50 points, guys, then I come back the next game and lace them up. You put me in the starting lineup again. How much you expect me to score? If I start and I bring you pretty much 30 minutes, how much you expect me to score the next game? You don't expect me to score 50, because the next game I'm going to have my 2 leading scorers are back in the lineup along with me. But how many points at least should I score the day after scoring 50? The game after scoring 50. Whatever your number is, I guarantee you it should be higher than 8. That's how many he scored last night. Eric Gordon went from 50 to 8.
The worst thing for a coach.
50 to 8. That's the inconsistency. You don't expect 50. But at least Eric Gordon should have been, to let us know he's arrived.
Hey, Jimmy,
20.
Always remember, D'Antoni's, his contract has not been renewed. He is what you call a lame duck coach, playing his deal out. So, maybe the guy just letting him, I don't know, man. I'm serious. I really don't know. Me being an owner, if I was the owner, I'd have to figure that out.
And Doug says his knees are not built for back-to-backs. Well, you laughing on that.
Doug.
Because that wasn't back-to-back. That's just 2 games in a row, 2 consecutive games. That ain't no back-to-back. We thought about the old adage of back-to-backs, meaning playing
I promise you. I said, thank you, Lord, for Eric Gordon. I promise you. My expectations, Jimmy. That's why I'm not going to echo your sentiment about this. Jimmy, I expected this from Eric Gordon, man. I'm sorry. I did.
So if you're expecting what from Eric Gordon?
For him to lay an egg the next game.
So that means If you're expecting this,
Yeah.
do you not expect at no point in time this season for it to soothe
I
itself
told
out?
you, I came on this show and told you something very key. I said, Jimmy, one of our biggest problems, we gave this guy $89 million. I said this when they did it. I wouldn't have gave him that much. So if you get that much money, Jimmy, it's certain things expected of you. And when I saw in the beginning of the season, yes, he was hurt. And the best ability is availability. But Jimmy, he just I expected that. I don't expect much out of him. I'm so glad y'all do, cause I don't. I just don't.
And the Boomer Room, we to address some of the comments right now. Of course, Martin Vaughn says, for me, with all of this load managed, missing games, and with mysterious injuries, and it seems like they don't care, so why should I? And that's what I'm asking. A lot of fans, it seems like, they're resolving to the fact that, you know what, my input ain't gonna be greater than their output. If they don't care, then I'm not gonna care that much until the playoffs come. And if that's the case, then why do they want you to pay attention at his 50?
Hey, you see what Mindy Collins said? She said that's why New Orleans fans were mad. They didn't see Eric Gordon that we had. They saw the one Eric Gordon we see now.
Last night.
Yeah.
They didn't see the Eric Gordon the 50.
But Jimmy, that's just one game. I told you the one. You noticed when he scored that 50, I didn't say much. I just let you go off.
No. Scoring the 50, that can't never be taken away. He did that.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that what the thing is, when you score the 50 and you come back and lay a
Jimmy, Buddy Hield had 42. Buddy Hield.
Man.
No, Jimmy. Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield had 42 the other night, Jimmy. Jimmy, if you're a pro at any given night and you can score a little bit, you can sneak up. You can sneak up and score. Buddy Hield, heavy track. Heavy track. What else we got, man?
Indeed.
What else you got you want to talk about?
And I also want to give a shout out to Damian Lillard, his first triple-double, 36 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists last night.
He don't pass much. You're right.
He got the win. He got the win. No,
Jimmy. It's his first triple-double. He don't pass much. So that's why he never get a triple-double. That's the point I was trying to make. I wasn't talking about last night. I'm just talking about all these years he never got a triple-double. Because he hasn't seen a shot he don't like.
And we mentioned earlier James Harden, 18 points, and continued his
James struggles.
His struggles.
I think James hurt.
He's missing 2 games with the bruised thigh. And one of the points that happened in that game, I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched the key point of it. And that was right before the half, to show you the lackluster effort on defense.
I knew you was going to bring this bullshit up. Keep
right before the half. You let Whiteside come in there, get a dunk. 10 seconds left to go in the half. Rockets get the ball, take it out. James Harden go and shoot a quick 3. As James Harden shoot the 3, Trevor Ariza break and Snowbird. They get the rebound, log it down there to Trevor Ariza. He gets a dunk at the buzzer. They get 2 uncontested dunks to end the half. Now, mind you, the Rockets were up 36-31 after the first quarter. Before this was that second quarter, Portland outscored the Rockets 41-24, and it went from there and spiraled on downward. Somehow, these guys have to find a way. The coach has to find a way to remember. They don't have to like each other, but they have to love their teammate in the role, and that's somehow it has to be done. I don't know if you're gonna have a cookout, if what you're gonna do during the Super Bowl party. I don't know what, but it has to. That's the coaches. That's your job. You have to find a way to get your role guys to step up in their role. PJ Tucker, I got tired of mentioning him. 5 punts, in case you're wondering. PJ Tucker, 5 punts from him last night in 34 minutes. Clint Capella, 2 punts. Whiteside whooped Capella's butt. Whiteside had what? 15 points, 10 rebounds. These are your Houston Rockets.
Somebody asked you a question. Is Northside High School really that good?
We're talking high school basketball now, guys. We're on the back nine. Welcome to the Chop Shop. If you're there, we're going to ask you guys to share your show. Share the show right now so that we can get this thing pumping. We got a lot to go in the mailbag, a lot of good convo. And before we're going to double back and wrap up the show with some more reflections on the Kobe Bryant. But meanwhile, your question is Northside High School, who's in first place right now. I think they're tied with Sharpstown atop their 5A in their district in the 5A ranks. Well, it's like this. I saw Northside play in December, and they're not that good. But understand the district that they're in. They're in first place in the district. You're in the district. They beat Madison last week. They're in the district with Sharpstown, Madison, Houston, Austin, Waltrip, Sterling, Milby, and Wisdom, which is the old Robert E. Lee, right? So somebody has to come in first. Ronald Holmes is the main guy on that team. They had a big guy, about 6'7", named Daniel Contreras. He got hurt. They lost him right at the beginning of the season. They lost him, I think, for the year. But Ronald Holmes is the two-sport star quarterback that, in my opinion, he could go and has a possibility to make money playing on Sundays in football. But as most people and many guys in Houston, they would try to ride the basketball tide because once summertime comes, if it's 100 degrees, right? 100 degrees outside, you would much rather be in the gym than to be outside in the football with a helmet and pants on. But Ronald Holmes is getting it done. He scored, I think, 30 in the win last week. Other basketball news from last night. Get right into it because I see that some of you guys got into the comment. Got a conversation already.
I'm trying to see what happened.
Yates High School last night, right?
Uh-huh.
Got a win.
Houston Yates High School.
Houston Jack Yates to extend their 100-point streak to, is it 12 now? You guys, Ashley? I forget the numbers. I like when y'all correct me the numbers. It's 12, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 12, 11 or 12. You guys help me out on that. As far as the win streak, the 100 points streak for Yates. At the buzzer, a junior, Latrell Moore, hit a three-pointer to make it 100 with about 6 seconds left out. Right? So prior to that is where the tension arose. First of all, thank you, Doug. It's 12, and of course, in Rod Wells.
Rod Wells gonna get you right. I'm just
Rod, right. He had quicker Wi-Fi. Doug might have cricket, and Wells
Rod Wells is the Yates.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I'm talking about how quicker they reply.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Okay.
They came in with seconds of each other.
Okay.
So now the national record is 15. So this means Yates is 3 games away from tying the record, which was set by Yates in 2000.
I want to know what happened because I read your text you sent me, and I say they're stalling the ball. So your team was trying to intentionally not let Yates get the 100?
Here's how it went down. Didn't go to that game last night. Spoke with the coach, one of the coaches of Jack Yates, and I've read some of the stuff on social media, but I've gotten pretty much the spiel from one of the coaches of whom I trust on the Yates staff. First of all, the Yates played Fur High School. That's a district game. That means they had no choice but to play each other, right? This Fur team, this is not a team that's hadn't won a game all year. Fur going into this game was 3-4 in district. Fur is in the playoff hunt in district. So this is, once again, this is not a team that's helpless. I don't remember the final score, but however, in the game, HISD implemented a rule, not now, but a couple of years back, that if you're up or ahead by 50 points, the clock will be a running clock. That's a district house rule. Now, the National Federation of High Schools states that both coaches are supposed to agree. However, Yates has superseded that, and HISD implemented their own set of rules, which everybody's been abiding by, but that rule is more challenged, and it helps, on the girls' side, you see more lopsided scores at a more routine base than the boys' side. So the team that Yates is playing, Yates, by the clock is running, something happened last night, Hannah, that took it to another level. And so it took it to another level. That means the coach is frustrated and it gets personal because you feel it's getting personal against you as the coach. And it goes and it just spreads. Here's what I mean. During the timeout, the referees were instructed by the administration or the administrator on duty to keep the clock running during the timeouts. Knowing that I understand the clock running at 50 because now Yates is in control of that. That means don't go up by 50. Go up by 40, let them score a layup or whatever. Don't get it to 50. But when you call a timeout, the clock continued to run, for not the whole timeout, but at least a few seconds. I understand between 30 to 40 seconds after a couple of timeouts. Now, the coach is saying that motivated the coach from Yates to proceed to press. Meanwhile, the team, Fur, would have layup opportunities, and the coach, allegedly their coach, instructed the kids, because not many people in the building, so it's kind of echoing. They were at Butler, I think Butler Fieldhouse, and was instructing the kids to pass up the open layups so that they can spread the floor, get more time off the clock, and hinder Yates from getting their 100-point, their satisfaction. Once again, that's why I say it became personal now. And each coach has the obligation to coach his team as they so deem fit. However, the objective of this game is to get a basket. If you get a basket, and especially in today's society, if you're teaching the kids to pass up an open layup? I can understand you want to spread the ball out and do whatever you want to do, but to pass up an open layup, that's the equivalent of if a team in football gives you the ball and let you score a touchdown because they want to score 50. They're going to let you score a touchdown, but the coach tells his player, running back, don't you score no touchdown. Get to the 1-yard line, just lay down.
That's been done before, but keep going.
It's been done before for strategic purposes, but never to keep another team from scoring the meeting of milestone.
I got a question. What if that was that coach's strategy?
If that was his strategy, how didn't do it? Why you didn't implement that strategy from the opening tip? You see?
What it wouldn't be the strategy then. He made an adjustment. As the facts change, the truth changed.
Understand.
Fred said it's not true, Jimmy. They did. He was refereeing. He said about running the clock during timeouts. They didn't.
I have a video where the clock ran about 30 seconds off. And so then that clock, I said one of the timeouts. I didn't say every timeout. I said it a while ago. I said 1 to 2 timeouts where the clock ran after, sometimes you get a clock person and I've had some clock persons at some of my events. They know the game is wobbly, and they'll go and you blow the whistle, and that guy let that clock run an extra 5 or 6 seconds, then stop it, especially in the first half, because nobody's going to complain in the first half. They'll complain if it's a close game at the end. So it may have been that situation, but still they were acknowledged, and nobody made the adjustment.
So my thing is, Jim, I mean, what's the beef? You know how
well, the beef is
what's the problem?
The beef is, if you're a coach and you're telling your players to pass up an open layup, if the team is allowing you to get an open layup, is that okay? Because you trying to stop that guy from scoring 100 points.
You trying to
that's
stop?
Personal. That's personal. That's between you.
So Jimmy, okay.
Because if it was personal between those kids, they would have been. It would have showed. They would have been.
Jimmy, what if this guy said, "Look here, I want to be the one that break the streak"? What if that was his strategy?
Okay,
I want to be the one that break the streak.
If that's the case, then you do that. It'll be obvious from the beginning.
No. But he don't care if you know it. He don't care when you know it. He just said, "Man, I want to be the one that y'all talking about today that broke the streak." I wish I had been there so I can know the spirit of what's happening, because I'm really not understanding it. I'm really, and forgive me, Yates fans. I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. What if I got to think, what if that coach just said, "Man, I want to be the one that don't let him score 100 on me. So this is the only way I can do it." You know, I'm just asking. I know it's not competitive. His team is not competitive. His team can never be Yates. That team, they can play Yates 1,000 times and Yates going to win 1,000 times. But this particular time, the man said, "Okay, you're going to beat me by 1,000, but I'm not going to let you beat me by 1,001. You know, I don't know. I was not there.
Once again, if that's the thing.
Listen to me. They said, tell my players to play defense. Well, guess what? Rod Wells? What about the other 9 teams, 10 teams, 11 teams that Yates that just beat the brakes off? Listen, they can't beat Yates. Let me repeat that, Rod, because I know your ears might be stopped up. They can't beat Yates. Yates is 150 points better than them. We all agree. I agree. You should agree in everything. Okay? Everybody understand that. But this particular time, this man said, "I'm going to break that streak."
Helen, once again, that's one side of what you're saying.
No, that's what, but yeah.
Furr High School, once again, okay. I'm going to paint sure you understand what you did. We're not talking about Robert E. Lee / Wisdom High School. Mm-hmm. Furr High School is in a playoff hunt. They wasn't going to beat Yates. That was obvious at that point in the game. Right. However, you being limited to having 20-something points in the fourth quarter, and you have an opportunity to extend, at least get some more points yourself. As you just said, I'm not going to let you beat the snot out of me. Well, they're trying to give you some points. They're trying to give you some points.
Jimmy. I didn't say nothing. Jimmy, I just said, let me repeat again. It's a difference between hearing and listening. I just said Yates is 150 points better than him. They know they were going to get this snot beat out of them. The man just said, and I don't know the guy. I wasn't at the game. I'm just going by the comments. And guess what? It's my job, Rod Wells, to look at another part of it. I just can't look at it Yates' way. My job on this show is to look objectively in both sides. So all I'm saying, y'all tearing the man, Walter Yates calling the man out his manhood and all of that. I don't know the guy. But Walter Yates, I'm sure you got his number, so you don't have to call him all kind of names on the Facebook feed. Text him and call him them names. So all I'm saying is, and it's so plainly, the man was trying to not be the 12th victim of the 100-yard mark. And that's the only way he knew how to do it, Jimmy.
How do you know?
But that's the way he did it.
From my understanding, he got pissed off because the Yates was still pressing them. That's what it was. It got personal.
Jimmy.
That's what
excuse me,
it got personal.
Jimmy here. Yates pressed everybody. Them kids don't know how to back off.
Adam, still, it had got personal. It had got personal. After a point, it ain't. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Certain games, it gets personal. And it's out of reach of what the kids, they only can do what the coach tell them to do. But there's a reason. And a kid don't really understand if you're in practice running a play.
Jim, you know what I'm at? This is what got me, Jimmy. Yates still bust the clock. They still got 100. What else you want?
Adam, it don't come down to, you're missing that. It come down to 100 because of a 3-point basket with 6 seconds left to go in the game.
Who hit the shot?
I'm not talking about that.
Who hit the 3-point shot? Latrell? Latrell hit.
Yes.
Latrell saved the day.
Alan, you missing what the conversation, this right now, this is one particular conversation. It has nothing to do with Jack Yates right now. You keep inserting Jack Yates into this. I'm talking about you as a coach of the team, and you have players and a team. I don't give a damn if it's John Doe High School. They give your player a free layup, and you tell them don't take that layup to come back and set it up, spread it out. Let's get some more time off the clock. And the other kid give you a layup. You take, and so wait a minute. So that's the logic where I'm at. Not the opponent, not what, that's what I'm saying. Is that okay? Is that okay? No, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's the retaliation for possibly for you for being pissed off because Yates was still pressing. Is Yates right for doing that or wrong? We went down that road before with Yates pressing. Greg Wise has been the public court and explained to everybody back 11 years ago, 11 seasons ago, that he's not going to stop doing it. He told it to everybody. And remember, at that point, Yates became public enemy number one. Because he got the state and people say that everything that happened afterwards, people would say that's good for you. And that's how it goes. But in this situation, he's willing to do that because that's what he does. So that's why it's not about Yates. You know what you're going to expect from him. Now, would the starters be still in the game if Jack Yates? Once again, that's Jack Yates. They explained from their narrative, and I talked to the coach. I talked to the coach last night after the game. And the coach said that his starters were in the game because of the fact that they're only going to play, if you look at the running clock and the action and the minutes as far as preparing this team, he's saying that you're running that clock like that, he's going to get, and these guys are holding this ball, he's going to go and not going to get maximum amount of time. And that's what he's going to roll with. That's his rotation. The rest of those guys, this is his rotation. That's what he's going to roll with his guys. And then on top of that, he has 2 or 3 young men in the starting lineup that does not have scholarships. So they need to get burned in order to help them get scholarships. So that's his take. Whether it be right or wrong, that's him. My thing is, this coach, if a kid has an open layup.
So the coach was petty. So you should understand.
You had played him before. See, that's the whole thing. This ain't first time playing Yates. First scored 45 points the first time they played. I think Yates scored 114. It was like 114 to 45. It's not the first time playing. So now you're minus 14 from what you scored last time. Now, of course, Yates has scored less because they were.
I got a question. If them boys had got that layup, right? The layups that y'all said they passed up.
Oh, they did pass some layups. Ain't no doubt about it.
Okay. Don't you know Yates was finna go right back and score them again?
Okay, but then guess what? You know what's going to happen at the end of the game? At the end of the game, them scoring 100 on you is not going to be different than them scoring 100 on the team before you or the team before that. So guess what? But your players.
That's crazy.
I'm quite sure nobody from Fur.
You know what, though? I can't even believe we're talking about this.
Nobody from Fur has an offer. So at least you can give them an opportunity to get some numbers. If any
Jim, I don't go with the offer thing because I don't know no coach gonna offer you for scoring against Fur. So the offer thing, that's probably a little, unless you're just trying to get his numbers up.
You're gonna get numbers.
Get his numbers up, but offer, come on.
No, you get numbers and you get film.
The first thing coach asks me is, I got a question. I tell this story, parents. I never forget when people used to call and ask me, Alan Branch, he said, well, how many your son had tonight? I say he had 34, 35, something like that. And he always asked me a question. He said, how many were college baskets? So when I go back and take away all them layups, because little Johnny can't out jump him, and take away all of the little stuff that I know, that 35 turned into about 10, 15 points. So I just think what you just said is a little far-fetched, that a college coach, you trying to get somebody a scholarship by beating the hell out of Spur. I just don't think that's the case.
No. Period. I said they don't get a scholarship off that game.
Okay.
You're just saying film. It would get film.
I wouldn't even show that film.
Dude, everybody has a play or two in there. That's where you get the film from. I mean, a quarter or something is going to have a good quarter. You got to realize those guys at this point right now that certain guys like Elijah Elliott that's going to have to take a non-Division I scholarship. So guess what? His film going against non-Division I players. So that means it's all equal. So that's the thing, and I'm quite sure Fur has somebody on their team. They had a kid, a Division I prospect a year ago. We talking about and guess what? He got film from playing against a Yates team a year ago, and among other teams as well. This Fur team last year was much better than this team this year. But I'm just thinking in regard to the logic and understanding and putting it out there. You guys understand, of course, in the boom boom room.
I'm lost.
No, and understand this. And after Fred Wagner was one of the referees, he said after Yates scored 100 points, Fur went down and turned the ball over with 12 seconds remaining. Check this out. I refused to give Yates the ball back, and I let the clock run out. The players tried to get the ball and run up the score more. So here we are. Think about this. So you understand what's going on. So that means now people are seeing this. And even Fred, I understand what was going on, but then even that ain't right. That's not in the confines of the rules. I understand that. Yates, see, that's the whole thing. People that didn't like Yates, you didn't like him before last night. You didn't just start. Don't act like this is nothing new. We've been through this before.
So if the man don't like Yates, so you're saying the coach don't like Yates?
I'm not talking about this referee. I'm talking about people.
No, I'm talking about the coach. I'm talking about the coach.
Yeah.
So if he don't, man. Hey, what they say? Ooh, Third Ward High.
And with that, and I'm telling you right now, I spoke about this on the TV show last week with Todd Freed on the Q57 on High School Sports Zone. And we talked about it, and I said, the record seems very reachable, and I told her last week, I say, Todd, I don't know if Yates will be able to get this record. We say, why? I say, because a lot of teams, from what I understand, and my intel, a lot of coaches are patching up and allying with each other to basically to do whatever it takes to not let Yates score 100. They can beat the snot out of you, but don't let them score 100. So that means if it comes down to passing up layups, then that's where the rubber meets the road. Like, whoa, dang, that's one parent saying, damn, my kid would have had 10 points tonight, 10 more points. But coach say don't shoot that layup. So that's when it becomes blatantly transparent that it's personal. And it's not, if it's personal, it can be personal. But we're not supposed to be able to see it that obvious for the casual common fan. That's all I'm saying. We're not supposed to be able to identify it like that. The regular, other players aren't supposed to be able to visualize it. It's supposed to be in the confines of it. Supposed to be. Will it be that way? No. But I do know one thing. What makes it very, very interesting right now, I almost know what game I'm going to go to next Friday. I can almost guarantee you what game I'm going to be at next Friday now. If Yates is still amassed 100-point games in their next two games. Because their third game, which would tie the record, would be versus arch rival Phyllis Wheatley High School on February the 7th at Barnett Fieldhouse. That would be the game that if Yates get 100 in that game, if they get it the two games before then, and it's still on, unless somebody else break the streak, that game against Wheatley, understand something. It means something now. First of all, Wheatley High School is in second place. Yates is in first place. But Yates is 2 games ahead of Wheatley. So Wheatley, even if Yates was to lose the game, but Wheatley is vying for second place with North Forest High School. So, so now it has, in other words, Wheatley has something to play for. Now, what does Wheatley fans say if Wheatley passes up layups so they play keep away with Jack Yates?
You know what? I got a cloud. I got a silver lining to this cloud. I've been hearing the petty thing. You know what? I'm just thinking about. We got a young team. We got a team, the Yates Lions, that's captained by Greg Wise, one of the greatest men that I've ever met. Right. So we got guys that's chasing history. They so dominant in their conference, in their district. So these guys have to chase for something higher, Jimmy. They chasing history. And what I learned about chasing history, there's going to be some adversity. Last night is adversity. History don't come easy, Jim Hicks, Ashley, Rod. History don't come easy. If it did, everybody would be history makers. These young men are it's gonna be up. It's not gonna be easy. Expect some similar stuff to happen. It's gonna be disguised as something else. So what I would say, if you're chasing history, understand there gonna be some opposition to your mission. I kind of like that one. Hey, it's gonna be some opposition to your mission. Coach Wise, I know you're looking today, but yeah. So understand that, man. I had to listen to the whole thing to really understand. Y'all, Yates is barking out on history. Okay? So guess what? It's always going to be somebody trying to stop you from making history. Always remember that. So what else you got, Jimmy?
Now, of course, and I mentioned in response to my comment a while ago about remember, Yates is sitting at 12 games in a row, scoring 100 points, at least 100 points. The conversation right now just jumped in was Yates winning last night 100-31 over Furr. That makes it 12 in a row, 3 short of tying the national record, which is 15 in a row. Yates has Cashmere coming up next. Cashmere has not won a game in district. Then Booker T. Washington next Tuesday. Phyllis Wheatley would be next Friday. So if indeed, now, in case you understand, when Yates played Booker T. Washington last, they only scored 100 points on the dot. The score was 100-66. I'm going to reach out to Coach Grayson, and I'm going to ask Coach Grayson if his kids have a layup, are they instructed to pass up a layup? So we'll know right then. That way, put it out there so we'll know if that's the philosophy. Then okay, that means you're purposely trying to stop the streak. You're taking then that's okay. But and I'm saying that was just shocking. The sticker shock of that in basketball as opposed to football. It was just like wow. So then I'm going to ask the Wheatley coach. Would that be the philosophy? If you have a layup and the game was within a certain margin, right, the spread, would your kids pass up a layup? And I want to find out from those two gentlemen because they're good, they're great young men. That's Lonnie Reynolds Jr. and, of course, Vincent Grayson, those two coaches. That way we would know going into next Friday. Because if that's the philosophy, I'm going to tell you, with a team like Wheatley.
Dude, that's messy, that, Doc.
And their alumni, it could backfire on Wheatley. Because their alumni will be like, what are we doing? Now
they're gonna go play the game, Jimmy. That was just an y'all just said the man is different, the coach is different. But you know what, Joe? I was laughing when I said opposition to your mission. Coach Smith said he messed with that, he loved it and stole it. But guess what? And I want you to understand this. You ain't stealing it, because guess what? All wisdom is plagiarism. Only stupidity is original. So now that's the one you need to. All wisdom is plagiarism. Only stupidity is original. John, now you can take that one and do whatever you want. You can that's a tweetable one. I'll let y'all tweet that one. You tweeters, I'll let y'all tweet that one.
And so of course the conversation, they got the boom boom room is crunk right now.
Oh, Coach, you done cranked them up, because now you've been talking about you finna go talk to the coaches and the high school coaches, the middle school coaches, the coaches' mamas. Yeah. Come on, Jimmy.
No, because I can help them out before it happened. If that's the case.
Why don't you leave them alone? Why didn't you help this coach out? Why didn't you help the fur coach out?
Well, the fur coach could have helped himself in the same sense. Hell, at that point, the game, understand, Heather, I can understand if you started the game off like that. And it's the last I'm going to say about that first stuff, because that means you had an opportunity to win. But when the game is already 40, 50 point spread and you're saying don't take a layup and we down by 50, what the hell are you teaching me? I can see, understand. I want to make sure my stance is understood. And guess what? I'm not mad either way. But if you're going to do it in the first half. Do it in the first half. That way now you're shrinking it, because it's not the first time. I remember back when Yates was also on another streak during about 10 years ago, and think Waltrip High School, I think is who Yates was playing. And the head coach of Waltrip High School, they amassed and implemented a similar strategy. And it broke the record. I mean, not broke the record. It broke their Yates streak quest for the record.
So you're saying just do it early?
If you're going to do it, you do it in the confines of competitiveness.
Well, then they knew it was coming. Man, hey, Jimmy, you giving this too much energy, man.
No, it's not. This is a hell of a topic. That's why that many people watching right now and talking about it. This stuff is, understand, Hal, you're not from Houston. It rolls deep when you're talking about Yates.
But I got common sense, Jimmy.
Yeah, but it's a big different whole thing. Yates, Wheatley, Yates, Booker T, Washington, those are whole different different degrees of animosity. some people got scars from back when they were in school and they never healed yet. Some folk.
I'll sit this one out. Tell me when y'all get you talking about that.
Well, Jeremy has a good question. He said he has a question for me. He said, Hicks, why didn't help the first 12 teams? Now all of a sudden he wants to help the last 3. No, I didn't say I want to help them. I said I want to get clarification on whether their players would be passing up layups if they got them or not. That's it. And that way I would know if it's to let people know, hey, should they expect? Because otherwise it can help. I mean, you don't have to tell me, but in that way also, as somebody said earlier, that could have been their game plan. But I don't understand. Once again, I explained the last that I'm going to do about that stuff. I'm talking about in the future, and hope I've answered your question. And this is.
Hey, y'all. Hey,
I'm reading some of these comments.
I don't understand. I'm telling y'all, I don't understand. I'm just going to sit over here and just I don't know. I'm going to turn the TV on. Keep going.
I mean, and look, the reason I said something this while ago. I say some people's scars, some people's stuff that in the rivalry that goes on with a lot of the schools, in the urban schools and HISD schools, they are life lasting with some people. Now they may have grown fond or respect some of the players or coaches who came through, but for their school versus that other school, it's there. And sure enough,
but Jimmy, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. The 2 schools that I know, I might not be from here, but I always love Yates. I love Yates because when I first got here, I think Ricky Winslow and Carvin Hope, I'm going to always know about Yates. I know about Wheatley because if I hear one more Jackie Carr story, Jackie Carr, Dwight Long, and Alvin Brooks. So, but I'm talking about not that the Yates and the rivalry. I'm just talking about I don't understand the energy that you're giving the Fur coach. I mean, he been talked about today more. I don't even know where Fur is. I'm gonna repeat that. Robert Hatter been here a long time. I can't tell you where Fur. Thank God I got a ways. I wouldn't know where Fur is. Don't know what part of town it is. I just don't know. Nothing against Fur. I just don't know. And if I offend you, a Fur alumni, I just don't know. So yes, it's somebody say, how do you don't know? I really don't. Oh, and Madison. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I remember Madison because Sean Gay. Sean Gay. Yes, you're right. You're right. Help me out. Y'all taking me through memory lane. Hold up, Jimmy. I know something now. Don't think I don't know nothing around here now. But yeah. Yates, I got an affinity for Yates because the love I have for Greg Wise. So, and that program that I just adopted. So yes. Okay. All right. Now.
Hey. Walter Yates say he never lost to Yates or Wheatley. Walter say that's a fact. He never lost to Yates or Wheatley. And
Mercury Drive. What? Okay, Ship Town. Jimmy, Fur is over there by the old radio station we were at.
Yeah, that's right around the corner from Brown Park to softball. The old softball.
I don't know where Brown Park is, Jimmy.
You say you don't?
No. Why would I know where Brown softball park is? I don't play softball.
Well, a lot of people don't know where Herman Park is. Some people don't know where.
If you don't know where Herman Park is, something wrong with you.
A lot of people don't know where certain parks are. But Brown Park, I mean, it's right in the shadows.
Wait a minute. You telling me Brown is more famous than Herman?
For softball, yes.
I ain't talking about softball. I'm talking about your out of town guy.
Out of softball was real heavy on the Chitlin circuit in this city. For grown men and corporations sponsored a lot of programs. Softball was real popular in the parks. It added life to a lot of our parks in the inner cities after dark.
Okay. Okay. I didn't mean to go there. I didn't need to get another history lesson.
And I didn't mean to. Yeah, when you coming up softball.
I didn't mean to.
I'm not. I know you didn't mean to. I know that's why I'm explaining. I'm teaching you about the.
I know what Herman is.
the history of Houston and a lot of the parks and recs in our schools. Like a lot of people didn't know where Fur High School was. I mean, hell, if you played ball in HISD, you had to take a bus ride to Fur at one point in time if you played any type of sport.
I didn't play.
Most people know where Fur is, and a lot of people don't. But that's the vicinity of it over off in East Houston. But I was looking at some of the schedules for some of the teams next week. But anyway, we go back.
But you know what, Jimmy? Before we go anywhere, I mean, if you got something special on
9 o'clock, Fur's not near Gulfgate. Fur's near Budweiser. So if you know what the Budweiser plant, Fur's near there. Gulfgate's on the other side of the ship channel. Gulfgate is near Milby and Chavez and Austin High School. Those three schools are near Gulfgate. This is what you call Clinton Park. That's near the Fur area. Yeah, I said Brown Park, Herman Brown Park. I said Brown Park, Herman Brown. Thanks, Jeff.
Help him out, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They know about that. Come on, everybody knew about that. That park was, very popular for that. And let me get ready to land this plane now. Of course, on yesterday, guys, Kobe Bryant's widow, released a statement on Instagram about, thanking the millions of fans who reached out to the family, and Howard has that stuff. I think you have it queued up for the viewers. You didn't cue it up?
No. Which one? No. She didn't talk. She didn't say it, Jimmy. She released a statement.
No, I said she released a statement.
It's not going to be big enough to be on the screen. You want to read it? I'd rather you read it because I'm gonna make a comment after it.
No, I don't have it in front of me. I just know it was on the notes of the topic. I promised everybody we're pretty much in on.
Well, I got it. I didn't. But you didn't put that in my notes.
On this thing. Meanwhile, while you're pulling it up, don't forget, guys, this weekend. Also, the last topic of the night is he pulling the.
I got it.
Vanessa is we're getting some Super Bowl talk as well, and some of the events that will be going on, the halftime show, some of the bets that'll be going on, and what are you guys planning to do during the Super Bowl? Who's having a big Super Bowl party out there? That's what I'm curious about. Which one of you guys gonna crank up that grill, or throw? Matter of fact, who gonna drop some of them bugs in the water and ball them up? Who got the crawfish party? That's what I want to know. Anybody out there got the crawfish ball? I might know where I'm gonna be at if I got a crawfish ball going on out there.
Well, I don't know about that, but I got it queued up. Vanessa Bryant in her Instagram quest, she said in a heartfelt message, she said, "My girls and I want to thank the millions of people who've showed support and love during this horrific time. Thank you for all the prayers. We definitely need them. We are completely devastated by the loss of my adoring husband, Kobe, the amazing father of our children, and my beautiful, sweet Gianna, a loving, thoughtful, and wonderful daughter, an amazing sister to Natalia, Bianca, and Capri. We're also devastated for the families who lost their loved ones on Sunday, and we share in their grief immediately. There aren't enough words to describe our pain right now. I take comfort in knowing that Kobe and Gigi both knew that they were so deeply loved. We were so incredibly blessed to have them in our lives. I wish they were here with us forever. They were our beautiful blessings taken away from us too soon. I'm not sure what our lives hold beyond today, and it's impossible to imagine life without them. But we wake up each day trying to keep pushing because Kobe and our baby girl Gigi are shining on us to light the way. Our love for them is endless. And that's to say immeasurable. I just wish that I could hug them, kiss them, bless them, have them here with us forever. Thank you for sharing your joy, your grief, your support for us. We ask that you grant us and respect the privacy we would need to navigate this new reality. To honor our Team Mamba family, the Mamba Sports Foundation has set up a Mamba on 3 fund to help support the other families affected by this tragedy. To donate, please go to mambaon3.org. To further Kobe and Gianna's legacy in youth sports, please visit mambasportsfoundation.org. Thank you so much for lifting us up in your prayers and for loving Kobe and Gigi, Natalia, Bianca, Capri, and me. Oh, I bet I got through that, Jimmy. That was touching.
Yeah, and speaking of that topic with Kobe Bryant, breaking news: the NBA has announced some changes to the All-Star game, where they will add a Kobe Bryant tribute at the end of each quarter. Each quarter, the scores will be reset after the second and third quarter. They will be reset back to zero or prior to it. And with the final quarter, it would go for a target score, whereas they're going to combine the score will be restored, and they'll combine each of the previous and that. Somehow I have more. I mean, they have more on Monday, but then they'll add 24 to the end of the total. Something like that.
It's kind of weird.
Kind of confusing.
Yeah.
So, and that will be the winner of it. But each of the each quarter will be basically a mini game. Yeah. So now that's a way to get the guys to play for something. Mm-hmm. And that was a thing.
Each quarter they got to play for something.
Now all of the joking around, you see a little bit less joking around. And this means it should yield a more exciting and probably arguably the most watched All-Star game in NBA history. We'll see how that goes.
And Jimmy, I want to add one more time. That's why I wanted you to read Vanessa's comments, because I wanted to add some I've been thinking about, for the whole week. And I just wanted to share that this man, Kobe Bryant, can be considered an icon just about what I'm about to share with y'all. I want to give y'all some about Kobe you can use. He operated, Jimmy, Boom Boom Room, like he knew his time was limited. He proved that the most important thing we have in life is time. In the end of the day, Jimmy, you might know how many shoes you have. You know how many TVs in your house. You know how much money you got in your right pocket. But Jimmy, we don't know how much time we have. He respected his time. Look how much he achieved in those 41 years. His family looked at him as a man. You just heard Vanessa. Not an icon. She looked at him as a loving father, loving husband. But Jimmy, he didn't waste time. I hope we, Boom Boom Room, America, can be half as efficient as he was with his time. Jimmy, he died spending time with the people he loved and the people that loved him. He had a beautiful life. He was mindful of who he spent his time with, what he spent his time doing, and where he spent his time. He defined how we should spend time. Instead of trying to get the last word, he always was working on the next thought. I need to repeat that. Instead of trying to get the last word, Kobe was always working on the next thought. When he was on the court, he was always looking at the next play. Sometimes the play had to be modified, Jim. Always working on the next thought. Apply this, boom, boom, room, in your life. Who you spend your time with, what you spend your time doing, and where you spend your time. His contribution to the sport went way above and beyond. And I'm not going to waste our time complimenting him on his sporting achievements. We already know that. That's out there. Let us use his untimely demise to remember how he applied himself. The record shows it, Jimmy. We should use it as a guideline. The money didn't make him. Have y'all ever noticed nobody ever discusses Kobe's money? We should use this, Jimmy, as a navigation app in our life. Install the app in your life, boom, boom, room. Download it in your life, boom, boom, room. Open it up in your life and properly manage your life like he did. What are you doing with your time? Let's benefit from his passing. Let's not mourn. He didn't have to get married that young, but he did at a young age. We see what Kobe was doing with his time. What are you doing with yours? Boom, boom, boom. Let's apply ourselves. You saw what he was doing with his life. Efficiently, appropriately, and with the right people. His time is over, but time ain't over. There's been such a tremendous outpour about Kobe and about his demise. This is a lesson all of us can learn from. And if you apply it, it will absolutely change your life. How are you spending your time? Jimmy, go look at the ledger of your activities. Do like I did. Start on Monday. Spent the next few days not letting no one waste my time. Quit giving people the benefit of the doubt with your time. No matter how they disguise it. Respect my time and Jimmy's time. We take out a lot of time to put on this show for y'all. Respect it. We lost Kobe Bryant in the third quarter of his life, y'all. I wonder what would have happened if he had his fourth quarter. Only God knows. And I'm close. What defined Kobe? He grew into knowing the value time was. Look at what he was doing with them girls, y'all. Look at his business dealings. Don't let basketball define Kobe Bryant. I'm going to ask y'all something. What do you believe is the most important thing you have been blessed with? It's time. I know this might shock you, but time is more important than your mama. How can you do something for her if you don't have time to do it? You can't separate time from no act that you're doing. how Kobe spent his time, who he spent it with. The helicopter, Jimmy, was about what? Time. To spend more time with his family. My question is, what have you been doing with your time? William Penn said, time is what we want most, but we use the worst. Jimmy, if time was money, many of us would be emotionally bankrupt because we have allowed too many psychological charges, mental debits, emotional withdrawals, without enough spiritual deposits. Charles Darwin, he said, a man who dare waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. That's all I got to say, Jimmy. Time is so important. I thought about this. I had this on Monday, but I told you it had to resonate in my spirit. Time is so important, y'all. And now, Jimmy, we got 9 more minutes of our time. and you can have it. You can take it from there.
But don't forget, guys, high school basketball games is going to resume on Friday. And you guys can go to rcssports.com. That's rcssports.com. You can go there right now and check out the updated list of the top 25 high school teams in the area in Greater Houston. That was updated today. I did all that myself this morning, updated the teams, along with their best wins and all of their losses. You're not going to get anything like that anywhere on a consistent basis. And that's another thing is I tell you guys, just pay attention to consistency. You got some people want to come and they'll go in there, update a website or update something for you guys once every so often. And you flock to it. I'm feeding you guys RCS Sports every damn day for 19 straight years, at least 5 days a week. That website has been updated. Plus doing all of the other stuff. And that's the thing. And once again, just pay attention. They want you to think, oh, Jim Hicks getting old. Yeah, I'm getting old. But at the same time, I'm getting more efficient. I ain't staying out to 4 o'clock in the morning and with college coaches and 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 days a week no more. Big difference. My ass at home before the lights come on. I'm at home before midnight at least 6 days a week. Pay attention. And just want to put that thought and plant that seed in your mind.
Hey, Jimmy, don't this stuff take up your time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's the whole. We've said this numerous times to you guys before. Trust me. If in the amateur sports sector or the underground non-conventional means, if other people could do this every day, understand this. Damn what this and what they got to do and pick up the kids, but if they could do this every day and be this good at it, they would. It's hard enough to figure out and put together a show for 1 day a week, not 4 days a week at 2 hours. And most shows you see out there is 1 hour. Once a week, 1 hour. We're giving you 2 hours a week, 4 days. 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then guess what happens at the end of the day, Monday through Thursday, when it comes about 1:59 Central Time. All of us look at our clocks and we say, damn, it's 2 o'clock already? You know what that means? That means because you guys been having a bunch of fun. And that's what we do on the Chop Shop. Just remind you guys, just pay attention and don't let yourselves get buffooned by people trying to push an unproven agenda down your throats. Unproven. And that's the thing that I want to leave you guys with. And we once again, we appreciate you. Can you share the show once again before you get up out of here? Share the show to your timelines. Share the Chop Shop to your friends. Like our Facebook page. Simply go to the front, hit the like button. So that way it can alert you when we come on the air on Monday. You go to our YouTube, our social media platforms, Chop Shop HTX. It's the same. Like us. Excuse me, guys. And then also, don't forget, I'm back on the TV screen as every weekend until April on Channel 57, The Cube. That's The Cube, K-U-B-E. It's 57 on most television providers, but on Xfinity is Channel 53. And I do know that. So that's 6 o'clock every Saturday and Sunday. And I'll be talking about a lot of the high school activities and action from this week, as well as projecting my thoughts for next week.
You know what amazed me about your time? I don't realize, because I've been watching the show for so long. Jimmy, you get a whole lot out in that little bit of time. Boy, yeah. You be ready. You be good at Jeopardy. A Family Feud. You get a whole lot out, man, and with clarity, and you throw a little joke in there every time. It seems like Todd be waiting on you to tell a joke because he like, it is funny though, man. I mean, it's a great. I tape it, and like I said, Jimmy, and guess what? And I tape it on Saturday and Sunday. I haven't recalibrated my settings so it can just tape the just one, but I have 2 of them on there every week. So great show, proud of you for 16 years?
No, 19 years.
Wow, that's right.
19 years.
Yeah.
And, like I said, we try to spread the love on TSA. You guys look, and a lot of people don't pay attention, and they won't know. They'll say, well, man, he don't never write about my boy. Well, hell, would you rather me? That's why I need some clarity from some of you parents. And we come on that next week. Do you rather me write about your son? You rather me talk about him on TV? You rather me talk about him on the Chop Shop? Which one you rather? Because most of your son, if he can play, he's in here. He's in here. Right? So if he's in here, what other, well, you got Vype. They do a great job, but it's a whole different type of concept. Vype does magazines every month. They do every sport. This right here has schedules inside of it. Schedules. It has a lot more. And you know what? I was so proud because I had a guy that asked me last week. He said, hey, man, I need to go and get me a magazine so that I can go and get my kids signed up for one of those scholarships. I heard you had some free the scholarship information in there. That's the most important part. The most important part. As I log out, I just find one at random for you guys. Here's one at random. This is free money these people give out. They're sitting right here, and all you have to do is pay $5 to get this book. And I'm going to read you one. The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Scholarship, right? They're going to provide 350 different students will get a 4-year, $20,000 scholarships. These are students in the Houston area in the following counties: Brazoria, Chambers, Fort Bend, Galveston, Harris, Liberty, Montgomery, and Waller counties. Here's the eligibility. A high school senior that has a 950 or higher on the SAT or a 19 or higher on the ACT. You have to be in the top half of your graduating class. This is a $20 $1,000 scholarship. This info, it has the website, where you have to go to apply. It's sitting right here. A little bit of things like that, pay attention. Pay attention. So I'm preparing the meal. Just because I don't feed it to you, then I ain't caring about you. Trust me, I could have saved paper. It cost me less money to print the magazine if I print it with less pages. I don't think you guys know that. So I don't need to put more pages in the magazine. I need to put less pages and save me money. Especially if you ain't buying one.
Time up.
Stuff. But people are buying them. People have gobbled them up, as they do. So I want to give you guys, once again, if I don't say it, who will? That's what I want to leave you on. But at the same time, it's been a great week. Shout out to my man James Wilhammy out there on the East Coast.
Yeah, what's up, Jan?
Logging in on the Chop Shop. Shout out to all you coaches, man. Good luck this weekend. Make sure if you have to travel near the Galleria in Houston, be sure to check your geographics, your navigation settings.
What happened?
Because 610 is going to be closed.
When?
For each of the next 4 weekends. Starting tonight after a certain time. I don't know what time it is. You guys might want to check your local websites for the news or whatever. But the 610, a stretch of 610 near the Galleria.
Starting on a Thursday?
I'm sorry. I'm thinking the day is Friday.
Okay.
Friday night.
All right.
Thinking the day.
Okay.
It's Baby Friday.
Okay.
It's Baby
all right.
Friday.
I got you.
I need to grab this old red thing. Let me shake this thing up and get it ready. And that's what I need to do.
But yeah, man, it's a good week, man. Hey, Super Bowl. Jimmy, I'm going with the Chief, Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna stick with him. I got to stick with him. I've been with him a long time ago. I'll never forget somebody called me the other day and said, "Man, you was telling us about that kid." I said, "Man, I just told you he was good. I didn't know he was gonna be in the Super Bowl this quick. I didn't know that. So, but I'm proud of him. Hey, let's get ready for next week. Let's make some news. Some news going to happen this week, and we're going to have a whole lot for y'all money.
Hey, man, East Texas, man, White House High School, stand up, man. Hey, going to make Texas proud. Another Texas guy in the Super Bowl. So what I'm talking about for is quarterback. And, hey, shout out. Hope he can get it done. It's going to be one thing about Monday. It's going to be a lot of us. We're going to all turn into Monday morning quarterback.
Jimmy, public service announcement. This is the weekend that the TVs are cheaper than any other weekend in the world in the year.
Why
Super Bowl weekend, they always discount the TVs so you can buy a new TV to watch the Super Bowl. Go look at the prices of the TVs this weekend, starting probably today. Go watch how the prices has dropped. You might have thought you got a sale on Black Monday, Black Thursday, Black Friday, whatever. Jimmy, traditionally, they don't talk about it enough, but this is the weekend to go buy a new TV.
Yeah, so and of course, if you guys need a TV, go get you one. I'm gonna find Big Pookie if I need me a TV. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I go. But anyway, you asked me, Angela, what part of Loop 610 in Houston? It would be the South 610 at 59 will be closed in both directions. From 9 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. on Monday morning.
You don't have, okay, I'm going to go check the information. I don't know where you're supposed to get off at.
Well, it's going to tell you that. That's what I'm saying. Check it, but it's and it's 4 consecutive. This is weekend number 1 of 4.
Okay. What they doing? You know what they're doing over there, Jimmy?
Well, they got to finish the projects they're trying to do from that. They're doing it 1659 out on those new ramps or whatever.
All right. Okay.
They got to lay new beams. I think they were saying they got to do. They had to lay some new beams. Okay. And that stuff got to take time to dry.
Stay out the Galleria. Come out to the Woodlands.
No, just follow your Waze app. If you got the Waze app, it's gonna help you get. It should help you for the most part. But anyway, thanks so much, guys, for tuning to the Chop Shop. Make sure you guys spread the word about us. We hope to just fill the gap in the middle of your day, and hope if we've done that, then job well done. And once again, see you guys on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Chop shop. We up out of here.
Let me hit that button for y'all.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop.